Good morning, guys, and welcome to my home. Welcome back to another video. I literally just did my kitchen haul, or my Walmart haul 20 seconds ago, but I'm getting this ready for today for our week. This is a 5-pound, almost 6-pound pack of chicken breast. I order this every week from Walmart. Actually, when I go to Aldi today, I'm going to check their prices. But I wanted to show you how I prep my chicken for roasting because I don't know anyone whose roasted chicken is better than mine. It is restaurant quality. It is fantastic. So the first thing that I do is I'm going to pull each one of these out individually. And when you pull them out, they're very tucked in because they have to shove them in here. So I actually spread them out. You see there's a lot of fat. I'm cutting that off. There's actually bone here. I'm going to cut that off. And then if you look at this line, this is the tender. So you can actually, if we were making chicken tenders this week and doing, we do fried chicken tenders a lot, I would actually cut that off and separately cook that. But I'm actually going to leave it on today because we're going to roast these whole. But I'm going to cut these and then I'm going to wash them. And then I'm going to show you how I prep my brine. So I just take my knife. Like I said, I open it up. I want all of this fat gone, and there is a little bone here, so I'm going to cut all of that off. That bone is giving me a fit on how to get it out, and I am roasting these for them to be eaten whole. On Wednesday we are going to have, maybe not Wednesday, probably Tuesday actually, we're going to have roasted chicken with, we're going to have roasted chicken with yellow rice and green beans. So that's what these are getting prepped for. So after I've cut off the fat, I've checked to make sure there's no more bones. I'm actually going to come in. I know some people like the skin on them. I am going to get a little bit of that off. And I probably wouldn't do that with a higher quality chicken, but this Walmart chicken is not top of the line. We're just going to make it taste that way. So when you're done, your chicken looks more like this, which is more like a traditional breast that you're used to seeing. Like I said, if we were cooking tenders this week, I would cut along this line, which is the tender line, and I would cook those separately, and it would have more of that classic breast shape. But I'm not doing that today. So I'm going to get all these cut, and I'm going to get them washed, and then we'll prep our brine. Okay guys, so my chicken is prepped and washed. I know some people have some feelings about washing chicken. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm a chicken washer myself. My sink gets bleached after this whole process, so you don't have to worry about that. But this is my prepped chicken. So I was only going to do 3 chicken breasts, and I'm still only going to do 3 that are roasted, but I went ahead and cut all my chicken breast for the week, and then 3 of these after their brine will get added to a Ziploc bag for a meal later in the week. 3 will be getting roasted for us to have for dinner tomorrow. This is the excess I cut off. This has bone in it, a little bit of more blood than what I'm comfortable with, some fat, some extra skin, and then some just pieces that were so thin that they wouldn't have cooked evenly when I roasted them. This will actually get boiled up in a small pot with a small amount of water, and I will feed it to my cat, my dog, and pour the water, the broth that it's going to make over their food. Give me 1 second. I need to go tend to guests, and then we'll get back to it. Okay, got him taken care of. The first thing I'm gonna do is I use the Kinder's brine mix. This is for, usually at Thanksgiving people brine their turkey in it. It comes with the bag, it comes with a buttery poultry blend seasoning, which I do love this seasoning, and then it comes with the brine mix itself. I'm not using these today, but I am using the brine mix. I only use about half. And I'll actually use half for all 6 breasts. And so I use about half every week. I save the rest in a Ziploc bag. So I have the recipe on the back. You can make your own brine. You don't have to brine your chicken breast. I personally think it makes a huge difference. Some people do, some people don't. It's up to you. I recommend you brining it. I love this. You can make your own brine, but I absolutely love this brine. So this is what I use. So what I'm going to do is you're supposed to boil 8 cups of water. I've taken 4 cups of water. I'm going to pop it in my microwave and I'm going to boil it there. If you have your own opinion about a microwave, that's awesome. I'm using mine to boil water. Okay, so this is pretty much boiled. Yeah, it's boiling. So you can see it. We've got just a nice little rolling bubble. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add half of my brine pack straight into the water. That's about half. And then I'm going to mix it until it's dissolved. This has got all sorts of good seasonings in it. It smells really good. I am a big fan of this brine. You boil it so that all of this can dissolve into this water. Because I already have 4 cups of ice in my brining bowl. And then I'm going to add 4 cups of cold water to this as well. And of course, if you were making the full pack, you would use 8 of each. 8 boiling, 8 cups of ice, and 8 cups of cold water. And I'm just going to use this same cup to do 4 cups of cold water. We have a filtration system on our kitchen sink, so I'm just using water straight out of my kitchen sink. This was the cold water. I'm adding it to the boiled water and the ice. And let me show you what that looks like right now. So if you see in my bowl, there's all the seasonings, the ice that's left, and the cold water. I'm adding my chicken straight to this. And then I'm leaving my chicken in here for about an hour. You're going to need a great big bowl for this so that it doesn't go everywhere. I'm just going to set this in my fridge. Oh, I hope this last one doesn't make it topple over. Let's see. We're going to be super careful. And it came over a little bit. That's okay. We're going to clean it up, take care of it. So I'm going to clean this up. This, like I said, is going to sit for an hour in my fridge. I'm actually going to go to Aldi to get the hamburger meat that I need for the night. So when I get back, I will show you the next part of this process that's stuck to them. But you just give them a good rinse so they're not overly salty. And that's where we're starting, is they're out of the brine. 3 have been put into a Ziploc bag. These 3 are for today. I took a mallet and pounded them just on the top, like where this was a little bit thicker. I pounded them out so that they're a little bit more uniform in size and thickness, so we don't have any issues with them not cooking to temp everywhere. You don't want this part getting really dry because you're still waiting on your larger part to cook. So the next thing that I do, again, totally optional, this is what I do. I love the Tony Chachere's injectable Cajun butter. This is not spicy. First of all, I don't eat spicy food. Not a spicy food person. But I'm going to draw this up. This is a little bit wider than, this is not as wide as this. So let's see. I normally use the one that comes with it. And I'm just going to inject in a few places in the chicken breast. I love this. I think it gives it a fantastic flavor. Let's see. I'm actually going to pour this in a bowl. It's not going to reach. Pour it out of a couple. There we go. And we're just going to pull up this injection. Yay. And we are going to inject our other 2 breasts. You can inject it as much or as little as you want to. Did you guys just see that squirt up? I'm going to clean that up. I kind of haphazardly do mine. Mine's a little messy. I'm sure other people could do it better than I do. This is how I do it. This just gives it, my chicken is really tender anyway. But in my opinion, this takes it over the top. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna draw the rest of that up. And anytime I do this, I use probably about 1/3 of the bottle. This is not my new one. This one I've had for a little bit. This is probably my 2nd time, and then I'll have enough to do one more. Again, this is optional, but it is how I do it to get the most flavor in our chicken. I'm not doing this in the ones in the bag because I don't know what flavor I want those to be. This is just a really basic, like what I'm going to use for seasonings and everything is going to be very basic in these. That was messier than the other one, like the injection that comes in the Tonys, but I'll get used to it. Okay, next step, once they're done injecting, I'm going to take melted butter and I'm going over the tops and the bottoms, the top, bottom, front, back, whatever you want to say, of each breast. Doing the smooth side first. I love melted. You can use olive oil or a neutral oil, whatever you want to use. I like butter because, in my opinion, butter gives it a really pretty color. I'm flipping these over, and I'm going to do the same thing in the back. On the bottoms. And then I am going to put some of the bottom of my pan as well, of the butter. I'm using a stoneware pan from Pampered Chef. It's my favorite to roast in. I love stoneware. Big fan of stoneware. You don't really use like Pam or any kind of aerosol spray in stoneware. I want to say with the Pampered Chef you can, but just normally you don't want to because it will clog the little pores that are in there. Okay, so I'm going to start with my tops. I'm flipping all of these back over. I'm only using this hand so that this hand can be clean for my seasonings. Now, if you wanted to, remember, with our brine, it comes with the buttery poultry seasoning. This seasoning is fantastic. It smells amazing. You can buy it in a packet or a one of these, or you can get it like this in with it. I'm not using this today. I'm going to use just my standard seasoning mix I use for everything. That is, let me move this so you guys can see. Okay, that is onion, garlic, salt, pepper, and paprika. Again, the paprika is to give it just a really pretty color. All right, I'm going to start with my salt. That's actually going to draw a little bit of the moisture. I'm doing this on the top, just a little bit. Then I'm going in with pepper, even more carefully so I'm not over seasoning. This has already got a lot of seasoning on it and within it. So we're not seasoning a whole meal. You have to remember you're seasoning one chicken breast at a time. That was the garlic. I love onion powder. I love onion powder. So we're going in with the onion powder. And then finally, for color, we're going in with the paprika. Now, I'm also going to, I wish my paprika had like a finer thing of holes so it didn't make lines, it was more uniform. I'm actually going to put these bottom side down in my pan. I'm sorry, top side down in my pan. And then I'm gonna flip them midway through the cook so they can brown on both sides. So now this is not a lot of room in this pan. Ideally, you could use a baking sheet, you could use whatever you want to. Ideally, you would have more room in between your chicken. But I do this so often, I know what to look for. So it's not a big deal for me. But if you want to get a 13x9 baking sheet, if you want to do a casserole dish, however you want to do it, you can do it in a cast iron skillet. It's completely up to you. My tops are on the bottom, my bottoms are on the top. I'm going to go back through and repeat that same seasoning order on the bottoms. So they're going to be seasoned on both sides. My oven is preheated to 400 degrees. You have to kind of decide, do I want to do this low and slow, or do I want to do this hot and fast? It's not fast, no matter what you want to do. So just know that up front. I know a lot of people do these in the skillet, and it does kick faster in a skillet than it does in the oven. I personally like them in the oven. I like the flavor. But I do mine on 400. If you want to do yours on 350, you can, and you'll just cook it longer. I personally think that it gets a really beautiful golden color at 400. I'm going to start these. Mine usually take about 30 minutes to cook, so I'm going to set this for 15 minutes, put them in, set it for 15 minutes. I'm going to temp it. We're looking for an internal temperature of 165, which we are not going to get in 15 minutes. Then I'm going to flip them, put them back in. I might butter the tops again, depending on how much I lost with them flipped over. But I'm going to put them back in for another 15 minutes, and then by then they should be done. I'll be able to show you what we've got at the end. Again, this is super basic. You can cut this up, shred it up, however you want to use it. It works in pretty much every recipe that you could use for chicken. But this is my favorite way to prep chicken. And I promise you, once you get the hang of it, it's a really fast process. This is just taking longer because I'm doing my very first video with you guys. So I'm going to get this in the oven, and I'm going to get all this cleaned up. And then when they're all done, I'll show you what it looks like at the end. Okay, here's our completed chicken breasts. They are delicious. They're going to be super moist. I'm not going to cut into them right now. I like to let them set. It just traps all that moisture in there, but I'm not ready to cut them yet. But when I do, I will send you a picture so you can see how beautiful they are on the inside and how delicious they are. We let these cook for right around 30 minutes at 400. Like I said, I flipped them halfway. This one looks naked because I just drug it all over the place with the tongs trying to pick it up. It did not want to. It didn't get stuck to the pan. It just wanted to fall apart. And so these are fantastic. Thank you so much. Look, let me do this. Here we go. Thanks so much for joining me today. I had a blast showing you guys how to do my roasted chicken. I promise you, if you do it exactly the way I told you to, it is going to be beyond restaurant quality, and you are going to love it. Your whole family is going to love it. It's packed full of protein, so much flavor. You can use it in anything. We actually, when we do a full set, we either eat it by itself, we eat it on top of a salad, we use it in our chicken Alfredo. If you do chicken casserole, it's literally as easy as chopping it up or shredding it up and using it in any of your chicken recipes. It's got a fantastic flavor. You can use whatever seasonings you want to change it up based on what you're going to use it for. But I highly recommend you try it out. If you do, leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think about it. It's amazing. Highly recommend it. Hope you guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.